So I think I came across you two earlier this year. I was browsing through YouTube, and your American film, I think it had something like 500,000 views.
Crumbs.
That's a lot, isn't it?
I think that was a bit of an over-exaggeration.
It might be an exaggeration.
I think it's got a bit less. But
Has it gone down since then?
No. Which one? Where were we?
I think it might have been your second one when you met with your friends. Is that Detroit area?
Yes. Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, we got some really good friends out in the States. We made friends with them in 2014, I think it was. Like, Instagram has made us so many friends and put us in contact with so many good anglers that wouldn't have been discovered otherwise. Like, these guys in the States, they just posted pictures of beautiful, wild-looking commons.
You thought they were from England?
Yeah, I messaged them. I was like, "Where are you
catching
guys?
all these fish?
These fish look amazing. They look out of this world. Like, what's going on?" And they're like, "Yeah, come and fish with us." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet. We'll come fish with you next year." And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And I go, "What's your address?" And they give me this like zip code for Detroit. I'm like, "You want to wind up if you mistype this?" But no, these guys are fishing in Michigan, in the States, catching really awesome carp.
Are they putting a lot of stuff out as well?
Not really. They're not like us putting out videos and stuff, but they just post like pictures of their catches.
They go fishing a lot.
So
and they catch some incredible carp.
Brendan and Austin, they're brothers, and then their friend Brian, who comes fishing with them. And we've done, I think, 3 different trips out to the States with them and discovered some incredible waters. And it's been really, really exciting because when we've been out there, we've been on lakes that no carp anglers fish. Like, just period. You spend a week there and you see one guy come down and fish out a bluegill or a bass or something. And we've caught some beautiful carp from the States. America doesn't seem to be the place for real giants like Europe can be.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the strain and the stocking, like the numbers of fish, doesn't result in huge carp, but numbers of good quality fish, and we've had some great trips out to the States.
Do you think that equates right across the States then? I was going to talk to you later in the podcast actually about America, but you just don't think there are really big carp out there?
In some states, you can tell that there's bigger carp than others.
Yeah, just because of the climate.
But what Brendan and Austin and Brian have said is they will fish loads of lakes and loads of rivers, catch lots of carp between like 10 and 20 pounds. Then they will find one lake which just is completely different, whether it's like the food source they have or whatever, and the carp in that particular lake will grow big. But it's like one in hundreds of lakes they find which are actually got big carp in.
You think you might be looking for lower stock lakes?
Yeah. You look. It's weird. You look for places where they get hunted by the bow fishermen, and it seems illogical to specifically choose waters where people are shooting these big fish, but you can tell if they're shooting big fish, then they're keeping the numbers down, and that means there's more food available for those carp. Alex's best trip to the States was Dale Hollow Reservoir. It's the biggest lake I can't comprehend how big that.
The thing with Dale Hollow
is
that is a massive exception. Like, it is an anomaly.
Yeah.
Because that lake has not only thousands and thousands of carp, but also a lot of big fish. Like lots of 30-pounders.
There's loads of
good
40s
number
coming
of
out
40s,
that people have never seen before, and that's what America does for us, and that's why we've taken like 3 or 4 trips out there, is because uncaught fish, no names, no record, no stocking records, no like history, nothing.
Complete mystery. It's amazing.
It's all brand new.
Have you guys had to educate your American friends a little bit, or were they quite advanced in the first place?
No,
the thing is though, they have learned carp fishing from Europe.
Yeah.
So they do it exactly how people in England do it.
Right.
But I guess lots of Americans learn like through the other types of fishing they do there, which they don't exactly treat carp how we would like to. But no, our American friends, they all learnt through Europe. They learnt the same way as us, so they did it like us.
It's a great excuse to get. I love America.
It's a really cool place.
It is.
It's so big.
It's
and
a huge
so
place.
Untapped.
Yeah.
Carp fishing will get big out there at some point. Americans will realise that you can go down, have a beer and a barbecue, and just chuck rods out and catch these beautiful fish. And when they do, I think they'll put down their bass fishing rods for a bit and And
because bass fishing's huge out there, isn't it?
It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and we've enjoyed some bass fishing too. But carp fishing is our first love, and will always be there.
Yeah. How many subscribers are you on at the moment? Your YouTube channel.
I think it's like 119,000.
Yeah.
It's getting up there, isn't it?
There's
Is it increased the last few years, or has there been a period of more growth?
It's been quite well. We started when I was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
You were 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, I was
something
like 11 or something when we first started YouTube.
It's taken since then, so like 13 years. So yeah, it kind of feels like it has just taken a long time to get there. But we have noticed that in recent years, when we've put more effort in, when we've got out fishing more, made more films, like tried to get better at filming and
telling stories.
It has, in recent years, I think it has gone.
This year has been by far our biggest year of growth.
But I think the
YouTube.
only reason is because we've spent more time doing it.
We quit our jobs and went, we're going to make videos every day about fishing on our YouTube channel. So.
Do you find, because the quality of your films is really, because Toby, you were saying they were like a typical sort of Korda film, the quality of the camera. Well, I love the music soundtracks as well that you have on there as
Thank
well.
you.
Yeah, where'd you get the music from?
We get it from a
also
variety.
We just listen. We just listen to a lot of music on SoundCloud and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when stuff comes up that we like, then it's a case of getting in touch with the people who made it and trying to get permission. Sometimes they won't let you, and sometimes they will. Sometimes they want money for the track, and sometimes we're like, "Damn, I love this song so much. I want to put it in my fishing video." But we have to shell out and pay.
So you have to approach artists privately,
but
individually.
you can also get royalty-free tracks. Just downloading them for like $18 per track or something.
The problem is you recognise certain tracks after a while,
Yeah,
don't you? They
yeah.
keep popping up on all these different films.
Yeah, so we always try and suit the music in the video to what we're doing,
right?
To a point. So, Passion for Angling, incredible series of films, beautifully produced, and we've met the team behind that, and it's so inspirational for the both of us. But for the youth of today, for people our age, it doesn't necessarily engage them. So sometimes we've chosen slightly pacier, slightly more modern music, and some older boys have been a bit like, "Oh, you're ruining the fishing video with this music. Why don't you stick to something classical and gentle like in the old films?"
Well, I think it needs to blend in and not necessarily hit you too much. Some blogs out there, the music is, and that's the music that they love individually.
But it can be distracting.
But it can be really hard on you as well.
Yeah. We've tried to walk a line between enjoying the edit, because when you're editing, if it's a track that you like, you're like cutting to the beat and you're loving it and you're telling this storyline, there's good music in the background, but it's a multitude of different factors that you have to take into account, and you don't want to distract people from the video.
We used to just use music that we enjoyed listening to, but now we just try and suit the music to what we're doing.
So if it's action packed and we're getting screaming takes and we're casting all the time and it's energetic, then we'll pick some energetic music to go with it to amplify it. But we'll also then take a really, nice gentle piece of music for the evening where everything calms down, and then sometimes we'll just have bird noises.
Sure, but I mean, if you went to see a movie at the cinema and the music was completely out of sync with the scene, it would just
it's a tricky choice, but it's the same thing like the pace of your edit, or it's the same thing like how you tell the storyline, and we pay a lot of attention to twists and turns of our storylines and capturing all those key moments. It's great watching films where someone sits down and tells a really good story, but it's even more gripping if you can capture all those twists and turns on camera. That moment that you lose that fish and you fall on the ground with your head in your hands like, oh, I've lost it. But if it's captured on camera and you can share it online, that's what gives us the kick, because it's like that emotion. Or when we finally catch our target fish after 6 months of trying to catch it, if we can have that on camera, that's what gives us the buzz. That's what excites us, because there it is. We can share it with people and we can inspire them.
There have been some great examples of that. Well, actually, you were talking about Age of Anglers. Tobe, you were saying earlier, weren't you, about...
we were having a bit of a debate earlier, weren't we?
Yeah. the average age of carp anglers nowadays? And you suggested that the average age was a lot older, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't think, because obviously I've watched some of your videos, and you know, you guys obviously you bring kind of a younger feel to it. And I said to Simon, I said, I don't think there's enough of that about. I feel like, you know, what do you guys? Do you engage with a younger audience more, or do you find that it's mixed, or is it an older audience?
I think we find it easiest to engage with people who are our age.
Yeah, similar age to us.
I don't know.
When we started though, the videos were being watched by really much younger people. Like all the comments would be from kids. But then as the quality, I think, increased, and we paid a bit more attention to like getting all their shots in focus and editing properly, not just like random cuts and shaky footage. That's when like the more mature anglers started watching our channel and being a bit more okay with it.
Do you think there are more anglers under the age of carp anglers under the age of 40 anyway now?
I don't know. It'd
be interesting to see.
You can only
what
really
the
go,
average
you can only
age
really
is.
The best example is rod license sales.
Yeah.
And rod license sales drop for all ages year on year, which is scary, and that worries us. You know, when we were at school, we were the only kids in our school who fished. We went to the same school, and whilst I was there, I was the only kid who fished. And then when Alex came to my school, it was us. It was us two. No one else did fishing. And being the only kids who fished in a class is one thing. You know, you have no one to talk to about your passion. But across an entire school, thousands of students, it's like, wow.
Yeah, see, mine was the same when I was at college. You know, all through school, college, and even university, I could count on one hand the amount of people I've seen.
Yeah.
You know, or met that have fished.
And that made us that experience in school, wanting to talk to others about fishing, wanting to take other people fishing, wanting to share our passion, I think that's what sort of kind of spurred us on to be like, we need to put it out on the internet. We need to encourage more people to fish. We need to show that it's not just an old man sport. It's fun. It can be enjoyable. Anyone can do it. It's not discriminatory. Any human being can go fishing.
I think that's what caught me as well with your films. I wasn't expecting to enjoy them. You've probably heard that a few times before. But yeah, after a few minutes of watching it, it's the realness and the genuineness of your films that keep people viewing, isn't it?
We try and have all of the good and bad, don't we?
Yeah, we try and keep it as real as possible. We show Carl and I having a bit of a few arguments every now and then.
Bit of misfortune when we lose fish, casting trees, like it happens.
The trials and tribulations.
When we started out, we were like, oh wow, this is exciting, and things were growing, and we thought, well, maybe we should start like trying to make ourselves actually look like good anglers, like cut that bit out where you lose that fish, or like, oh no, I got snagged and tangled. Oh, I better edit that bit out and make it look like it didn't happen. And then we thought, actually, to be honest, everyone gets entangles, everyone casts in trees, everyone loses fish. So what harm is it to put it in a video and admit that no one's perfect?
I think it kind of annoyed me a little bit when I used to watch fishing videos where everything the person did went so smoothly.
And you're like, it never goes right for me.
I'm never going to be this good or smooth, but in reality they do. Like, everyone gets things wrong. We're all human, and one of my favorite things is showing when things go wrong.
Yeah,
like, I like showing.
People in the comments always go, "Oh, that bit at 4 minutes 94 where you lose the fish and then kick the tree and then like hurt your toe or something." Like, I love that bit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, because it's relatable.
It's relatable. It's human, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe your YouTube videos to people listening to this?
I'm put on the spot there.
That's hard.
A difficult one.
Everything that we get up to in our life, which we enjoy doing.
Yeah, we don't film ourselves like doing the dishes and cleaning our house and the boring bits, but all the fun bits of our life, they go out on the most of the fun bits of our life go out on our channel, and we share our angling journey, because that's what it is for us. It's, you know, we can go back in our videos and look at us years and years ago learning pole fishing for roach. You know, we can go back and find the video where we first chucked a method feeder out and realised that you can catch carp, like 1-pounders, and then we can follow that year by year development, trying harder venues and figuring out new methods and stuff. I'd say our channel is two brothers journey in angling documented in the best possible way that they can.
Yeah, I think you do a good job with that as well. Let's clear up a few rumours, because when you first started, I suppose, Danny was saying in his podcast that when you're on the way up, everybody wants to support you. It's when you get to the top. Did you necessarily find that when you first started?
I felt like it was the other way around. Yeah, when we first started, we used to get a lot of hate mail.
Yeah, like lots of hate.
But
Your
mainly,
videos of this.
mainly due to the fact that our videos were pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like as we have progressed, I feel like we get less and less.
We're getting more
people.
support now than we did in the past. Because I think when we started, our videos just were so bad. People didn't support us and encourage us because they watched and went, "God, these videos are pants." Because they were we were recording on a little handy camera. You could probably count the number of pixels on one hand, and it was wind noise, and we never caught anything decent. And now, now we've really worked at it. We've given everything we have to capturing moments better, telling better stories, and people support us more now than they did.
Yeah. Yeah, you just learn from that. Another thing I was going to say, so your parents, obviously, I mean, I would imagine they've been hugely supportive towards this. Do they come from media backgrounds or fishing backgrounds?
Not at all.
No.
The opposite.
It was really funny. When we had our first video that started getting some views. It was a video called the Part Lake Campaign, and it was Alex and I's little we tried to make it like a documentary. Carl and Alex, brothers, go to this Part Lake and try and catch the big common that we'd heard rumours about. Anyway, we made that video, and it did really well. It was getting thousands and thousands of views and lots of comments. And then people started really not liking that. And you could say jealousy, you could say we weren't perfect human beings. People found little traits that they didn't like about us. Humans don't always get along. But some people started really giving us some abuse online, and found a forum where these people were discussing us, and they were saying, "Oh, the only reason why their video's done any good is because their dad is literally a pro fisherman, and their mum works for the BBC, so just gave them loads of camera stuff." And I read it, I was like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that." Because the truth of the matter is that our dad hates fishing. Our dad just doesn't he? We took him fishing once.
Got a picture there, Toby.
And
there is a picture of your, yeah.
We went fishing with our dad once. Took him on the River Wye, beautiful stretch of river, and at the end of the day, we're like, "So what did you think? Yeah, did you enjoy it?" And he goes, "It was all good until we caught the fish, and I didn't like that bit." So I think he likes it. But yeah, these people are spreading these rumours about us, saying the only reason why.
There's the picture up there.
Oh, there's our dad. He's smiling. He's smiling.
Well, he's grimacing a little bit, isn't he?
He's smiling.
A second after the shutter went, he began frowning again.
Sticky, horrible fish. But yeah, and our mum's a primary school teacher, and we have up until very recently, we had to attach her. We had to do her emails and show her how to attach things to an email. So the technical skills and camera stuff didn't come from mum, and
working on the BBC,
and all the fishing knowledge didn't come from dad. It was all self-taught, and it was all just because we loved it. But there has been these little blips, these sort of rumours that have spread out and multiplied, and then we.
What do you think? That's just jealousy, then?
I think people. Rumours are one of those amazing things. You never really know where they came from or why, but they spread and they get bigger and better.
It's why Chinese Whispers is such an exciting game, because you want to make this story
elaborate on the story.
Yeah. So I think it's the same sort of thing.
It just grows and grows.
You want to make someone just wants to make a story, I suppose.
So you two, obviously you've been doing this for a number of years. Have you always done everything together as brothers?
Mostly, yeah. When we were really young, we used to go ride our bikes and scooters on the road.
I thought you were going to say when we were really young, we used to have baths together.
You used to have baths together,
which is true. When we were really young.
We've done that, Tobe, haven't we?
No, not me.
Not you. No.
What you? There's a bit of an age difference.
Me and Simon having baths.
What, within the two of us? Well, we are kind of no.
Can we cut? Yeah, can we cut to a commercial?
We'll edit this
we'll
bit
edit that bit out.
No, yeah. Yeah, we're so close. Like we as well, that sounded really creepy. I don't mean it. As
Be
brothers,
careful here.
As brothers, it's a love-hate thing, and we get along most of the time, and I'm really grateful for that. Alex has got skills that I don't have. I've got skills that he doesn't have. We could not have done it without each other. But let's not pretend that we haven't had times where we've shouted at each other and I never want to work with you again. Like, because we do that.
So about 3 months ago, I said to Carl that I never want to work with him again.
Yeah, that did happen.
In one of the...
that could be problematic.
in the
couldn't
height
it?
of one of our arguments.
Yeah, but the thing that happens every time those arguments occur is we then like storm off. I'll go to my bedroom or something, and Alex will be like in the garage tying up fishing stuff. Going, I never want to fish with that idiot. And then like,
You nearly said something else.
or
then.
nearly, yeah, but I don't know swear words.
No. Okay.
I'm pure and holy and.
You want to spend a few weeks here?
Innocent. Oh, what in the office?
Yeah. You'll learn a few.
I'll learn some words.
Yeah.
We spent enough time in Nash.
We spent enough time.
Yeah, of course.
What was I saying?
So you were tying up some rigs as
Oh,
well.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
We will
we
quick-
argue.
We'll quickly
Realise that we actually love each other.
Yeah, we realise that we need each other and we work well
work
together
better
when
as
we're
a
in a
team.
when we're in a good.
Well, you must be pretty close as well. You live together as well, don't you?
Yeah. We moved out spring.
We moved out
last year.
a year and a half ago. Moved out of our parents' house, and yeah, it's gone pretty good.
Yeah, we needed like a little studio to record videos in. That was very important, and we needed a bit more space for our fishing kit because in Mum and Dad's house, like
My bedroom just smelled of
it was bad.
fish.
Like when you've got maggots escaping in your wardrobe because you're scared to put them in the fridge because your mum's going to give you another bollocking. Like, it's bad. Like, we had to move out.
So they were happy to buy you a house
Well,
and get rid of you. Look.
I wish they had bought us the house, but we've had to secure income. And income is one of those things that people look at us and go, "Oh, YouTube. Oh, you're getting loads, like hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. You guys must be minted." And yeah, we are doing okay. You know, we're paying our mortgage, we're getting by, but YouTube doesn't pay what a lot of people perceive it to, because like the bar is set, like when you see it on the news and stuff, by these people doing gaming videos and vlogging and makeup tutorials, and they are getting millions and millions of views. And fishing is a small niche relatively online.
Yeah.
And we get by, but it's not like what people look at.
No.
Actual famous people on the internet. Like, we are very small time.
At the moment, I mean, you're getting bigger.
We're working on it.
You
We're
guys seem to have
enjoying our
slightly
videos.
different personalities as well, which is probably good as well, isn't it? To be able to, add a little bit of variation to things.
I think Cole's definitely more serious than me.
Serious?
Yeah, like
What do you mean serious?
like we can be having a full-on business meet, like talking about what we're gonna do in our next bit, and I'll just randomly just like
We'll
pull a stupid face.
We'll be
or,
doing like maths and statistics with you. So that video did this, and we used this number of like tags and blah blah blah. And I think the next logical stage for our channel should be to make another. And Alex would just be like half asleep or like zoned into something else, and he would start doing a Gollum impression or something. I'd just be, Alex, like, I'm trying to work here. Like,
I do a pretty good Gollum impression. By the
Right,
way.
we're going to have to see that Gollum impression now.
I
I'm
should
afraid.
hear that on the podcast.
I shouldn't have mentioned it.
he did. No.
Go on then.
Smuggle impressive.
Is that good? That sounded good.
That was perfect.
That's dreadful. I don't know him.
I quite like the sound of that, actually.
We've gone along
Oh, I
saying
love doing that.
saying we're brothers, but actually, what I found.
Well done, Alex.
I found him. I found him on the street.
Cole found me in a cave.
Alex, you're adopted.
in New Zealand in an underwater, surviving off fish.
Oh, fish. Right, I get it now. Yeah, got him.
That is why I do fishing, because I can catch with my hands.
When you were much younger, Alex, you looked quite Asian, and I genuinely thought at the time that you weren't from our family.
Right.
We're about to see
Whoa.
another live fallout on the old,
no, that's fine. I accept.
No, I
you.
know what you mean. Yeah, I've seen photos of myself when I was young. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
Mad, isn't it?
Mm.
Anyway, podcast.
So where did you get me from?
It's great, guys. Yeah, you carry on.
Think and tackle. Shouldn't we talk about carp fishing at some point?
No. We don't always need to talk about carp fishing, do we?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
probably.
So do you guys have any interests away from fishing? We'll try and get the subject away from fishing a
Okay.
little bit at the moment, shall we?
Okay.
So since we started working within the fishing industry, I've felt it more and more important to have like other interests,
Other hobbies.
because we spend
Keep it
like we
varied.
are like incredibly lucky to spend most of our time around fishing, which is like it's what we dream of,
It
like
is
what we
the
dreamed
dream,
of.
Yeah. But to keep yourself sane,
yeah,
you have
you-
to be varied. You have
You
to.
can't just have one thing which you do all the time, because you will burn out and you will hate it eventually. So we both do sports. We play badminton occasionally.
Not very well.
Not very well. No, we don't do anything like sports wise very well. But we play badminton. We go bowling with friends occasionally.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Alex goes to his raves in Brighton with his mate. What, you were in Bristol the other night? There was some party in Bristol that you went to.
Yeah, that was good fun.
You went to raving, are you, Alex?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I thought that was
It's
something
good.
we'd done in the late 80s, early
It's
90s,
not
actually.
like partying and drinking and loud music is not really my scene, just because sometimes I'm a bit oversensitive. I prefer a bit of solitude,
Right.
some peace and quiet. Like an evening at home, like chilling or something, or like a walk in the forest or fishing or something. Alex likes his like
I don't know. I just
little
like
bit
to,
of a blowout.
I
on a
like to
weekend.
let loose every now and then and just go wild.
Go wild.
I sit in front of my desk at home too much, and then like it comes to Friday or Saturday and I just
Go wild.
go absolutely
Let
crazy.
all that repressed
Yeah.
energy
Did
out.
you really just say that?
Yeah. You should see me, mate. I do.
So what's going wild for you then, Carl?
Oh, I don't.
Going for a nice walk in the park.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, how sweet.
What were you guys like at school and stuff then?
We
Were you good students? I'd imagine you two you knuckled down well, didn't you? And didn't cause the teachers too much hassle.
What were you like, Cole? Let's hear what you were
No,
like.
don't put the focus on me. It's embarrassing.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can answer for each other if you want.
I was.
That's just all right. You
just
were
trying
a
to
bit
think.
obsessive about your homework. I remember you being like, I have to do it really, really well and have to get good. And then
There was like a phase where I
like obsessive.
really went like, I'm going to do really well at school, and then I'm going to go to university, and then I'm going to
Get a good job.
get a
and-
job as a doctor or something like that. But
that
then
was never gonna.
But
happen.
when like as I got a bit older, I kind of got a bit more realistic, and I realised I was never going to do something like that. So I don't think at school I never felt like I put in loads of effort. I definitely mucked around quite a lot, but I was never a really bad kid. I never did anything which was bad. Like I never hurt someone or did something which I was just a bit maybe cheeky. Like I'd shout out something or like did you know that in science you have those pipettes,
right.
fill them up with water and sit at the back of the class and go boom, and it spray water everywhere.
Oh wow.
So I used to do things like that, which were not that bad, but
Letting
like
yourselves go, right?
You sound savage, mate. You sound savage.
Sounds
You know,
funny.
I was waiting for like stories of drugs and.
no, that's what I mean. I
bunking
never
off at
did
school.
anything
No,
which was really bad.
Alex was really.
But I liked mucking around a bit. That's all.
He was a good kid, like genuinely good kid. I got in a lot of fights. I just did not get on very well at all at school. I just think too many people in too small a space just wigged me out, like just sent my mind out. And being like a little bit oversensitive, someone would say something and I'd take it to heart and it would get all too big and it would all blow out of proportion. Then I'd be fighting with someone. There was years of what you could describe as bullying in my first school, just because I was the kid who would always be like, fishing's cool. And other people would be like, no, fishing's for old men, fishing's gay, all this. And I'd be like, no, it's like fishing can be fun. Like, I'm allowed to have a hobby just because it's not the same as your hobby. And then there'd be fights and arguments about that a lot. I defended and backed up fishing as I didn't need to do that. Like, there was no need, but I think because I hadn't found friends who fished as well, then it was like this bit of a barrier.
So did you find it hard finding friends at school?
Yeah, definitely. It was not a good time, and until I moved school, I had to be taken out of that school because it was just getting a bit savage. The other school was better, and I made a few friends, but it still didn't feel right. Something wasn't right. And then ever since leaving school and just working, the world of work has been far more rewarding, far more enjoyable for me than school. And a lot of people like reminisce of their school times and think, times were so simple. But for me, times were not simple, just because of the violence and fighting and kids waiting outside school to beat you up and stuff. It wasn't the best school that I started off at, I'll be honest. There was a lot of that going on. But was
it a big school then?
Yeah, there's I can't remember how many thousand kids at that.
What, in a big town?
Relatively, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like real bad, but it wasn't an easy time. And I very much enjoyed getting out of there, then dropping out of college quite early. I dropped out at the end of my first year because I wasn't learning enough, and told my parents, I'm going to go fishing and make a living from fishing. And Mum and Dad went, you are mad. You're dropping out of college to go fishing. I was like, no, it's not just that. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to have my own business. And like, I was like, what's the word? Entrepreneurial. I can't pronounce that. Yeah. But I was very passionate, and I had a vision. And I was like, Alex is going to be part of this vision. We're going to make YouTube films. We're going to make a living from the fishing world. It's gonna pay off. Mum and Dad were like, yeah.
It's quite radical, because I thought when you were saying that inspiration, I mean, you could maybe read Terry's books, couldn't you? And Terry, sort of took time out of work to just go fishing and try and catch, the biggest fish.
Brave.
But you had another,
That's brave to go like, there's my education and there's my work. I'm gonna go fishing and pursue that.
But you could see a little bit more than that.
I had this perception that down the line, people would consume a lot of like online stuff. Like it was this weird time where I told my parents I was going to be a YouTuber, but a YouTuber didn't exist. There wasn't such thing as people who make YouTube film. At the time when we were starting our channel, that wasn't a thing. And fishing is a relatively niche industry, so it kind of looked like a bit of a dead end. And I can understand why our parents were like, well, you can't just drop out of college, mate. Like, you can't do that. And I spent months and months getting to the end of my road, walking to the bus stop, getting on the bus, but not the bus that went to college, the bus that went to the river. And when my parents found out about that, and the school found out that I hadn't been attending, things kicked off a little bit. But luckily, by that point, we'd made enough videos on YouTube, and I'd put enough effort into that there were beginning to be opportunities. And I got a job in London as an editor for a fishing video company. So that was like the first.
Didn't you have an interesting story about the pole at school with the caretaker?
Oh yeah, school. Yeah, I used to fish quite a lot after school, and I'd I'd stash my fishing kit under the stairs. Like, there was like a little cleaning cupboard, and I kept my fishing pole in there. And I'd got it for I'd saved up for like, I don't know, ages, and got this really nice carbon fiber roach pole that I was using. I loved it. And then one day I went to fish after school, and the pole wasn't there. The bag was still there, but the pole was gone. And I put it in the school like newsletter. I put it on the school poster. I contacted maintenance, I contacted the head teacher, everyone, like, where's this fishing pole gone? It's gone missing. Nothing found out about it for like weeks and weeks. And then I was on my way to one of my lessons, and I just stuck my head into the maintenance room, and I got the caretaker and whoever sat at their desks and stuff. Hello, have you seen my fishing pole? And they're like, what are you talking about, fishing pole? Get lost. Like, oh, it was under the stairs in the caretaker's cupboard, cleaning cupboard, big long green. It's really nice, actually. And he goes, fishing pole? No, I haven't seen it. And I'm like, right, okay, see ya. And just as I'm about to leave, I look in the corner of his room, and at the back corner of the caretaker's room, he's got my fishing pole stashed up next to his bag in the corner. I'm like, no way, what do I do? And I go back in there, and I'm walking towards him slowly. He's like, what are you doing? And I just reach out, grab it. I'm like, that's my fishing pole. Oh, that thing, that long green Fishing. I didn't know it was there. I mean, I found it. I didn't know what it was, and I was like, "You literally took my fishing pole."
Right.
That hurt me. That did. But I got it back.
You got it back. Everything was against you at school then, wasn't it?
It wasn't the best of times, but since then it's been pretty positive.
It's been good. So, Alex, were you looking at Carl at this? Were you kind of leading the way, Carl, with your vision of what you were going to do, and maybe what the two of you would end up doing together?
At first, yes.
I didn't until the last year of school. For me, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I didn't even know what I wanted to do at college. I don't know why. I don't know. Lots of kids are like that, I think.
Yeah.
Like there's like so many different options. You don't want to make the wrong decision. What do you do? So I think I saw that Carl. Where were you working when I left school? Were you online still? So Carl was working in London. So I think I saw that and realised that you could get a job doing that. And that was when I think I started to put a lot more effort into the videos. So that's when I was like, I need to get better at editing.
When you left school, you instantly started being like, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm going to film a video."
It was on my last year of school.
Can I edit that one? Can I edit this one? And I was like, "Whoa, go on, Alex!" Like, and I was really happy to see that because it had been kind of my project for a bit, but I really wanted it to be ours.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's been literally 50-50. Alex pushing one way, me pushing, making more stuff, and
You find that the two of you are feeding off each other and motivating each other.
Definitely, it's sometimes motivation can be hard, and we have the best job ever, and that is just fact. Like we are so grateful. Some days though, you get up and you're like, "Oh, I've got X number of videos that I need to edit. I'm going to be at my desk for a week straight." But the fact that I'm editing something where my brother's catching this big fish, or we've got a really exciting story to tell, and Alex is in the other room, he's like processing his photos and learning some technique with photography or something. We both inspire each other to keep at it and keep
I
going.
think pretty much everything I've learnt in filmmaking, pretty much I learnt from online or from Carl, throughout the years.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Thanks, Alex.
So, Carl, you were working in London. Sorry, who were you working for in
That
London?
was a company called Online Fishing TV, and any young people out there who are like in that sort of time at college or uni and they're not knowing which direction to go, if they're interested in fishing and they're interested in maybe their photography or something, that is an opening, it's a growing avenue. Like every tackle company out there at the moment are pretty much advertising for videographers or cameramen or editors or social media experts. It's an entity, this online video and social media. It's an area of the industry that didn't exist just a few years ago, but it's growing really fast, and it's a really great place for a great opportunity for people. I've seen like friends of mine who have been passionate about fishing, not really knowing what direction they're going, pick up a camera and realise that actually they can create stuff. And so I was working at a production company in London that made fishing videos for like Discovery, and they had an online platform where they were posting videos and stuff. That was great, but it was like I was workhorse, bottom of the company, just editing. My companion was jet setting around the world. Like my colleague was jet setting around the world filming Dean Macy's adventure in Thailand or something epic, like. And I was getting folders of footage and editing it up. But really, all the while, in the back of my mind was like, if the Carl and Alex fishing channel gets going a bit, gets a bit of an audience, that's got potential. And one day, it will be us travelling the world. One day,
and then you moved from there to Kevin Nash.
Yeah. Nash Tackle were a breakthrough for us in a sense that Nash were a company that were looking at young people and looking at people who could bring new ideas and new life into their company. Kevin's always been quite good at looking at things that he's not knowledgeable about and just go like shifting the responsibility to someone younger or someone more suited to that topic. And we got quite good friends with Paul Garner, Alan Blair, Winston, Ollie Davies, like their sort of media department.
Has Kevin Nash always been like that? Has he always been aware that he needs to listen to other people, and especially like a younger demographic as well?
I don't really know. I don't want to speak too much for someone else, but working with him for like 5 years or so, I definitely noticed as time passed, he delegated more and he mellowed more to other people's opinions.
You do notice that with successful people, you know, that when they become the point where they become really successful is when they can let go of the reins a little bit and listen to everybody else a little bit more.
No one person has all the traits
Right.
that they need, you know, to lead a company, to lead a political party, to make decisions. You need multiple people with multiple skills. And yeah, Nash brought us on board, me first and then Alex a few years later, to help them grow their like videos and help them make their DVDs and stuff. And that was a really cool opportunity because we got to use our skills that we'd sort of grown up doing our YouTube videos, and be paid to do it. It was like dream come true. We'd got the job in the angling industry, and it felt amazing. It was a really big.
So you got
step.
Alex into the company.
Yeah, when they gave me a little bit more creative control and a bit more management.
Carl got me a job.
So I use this against him all the time.
When we have an argument, and it just ends up with, "Shut up! I got you a job." Oh, what do I say now?
Yeah, you're the youngest, aren't you? You're always going to get that. Unfortunately,
it's a hard to all the little brothers out there. I feel you. I know what it's like.
I don't know what it's like. I'm the oldest. Yeah. So did the two of you work together at Nash?
Yeah,
Quite closely.
Yeah, I was technically Alex's boss for a few years.
Shut up! Stop reminding me.
Which was never going to work long term. It just wasn't going to work. Like, but it was good. It was good during that time. We made a lot of films. Alex grafted, and I'll give him credit. He did a lot of good videos. Whilst we worked at Nash, and that was really awesome. But in the background, whilst we worked at Nash, there was always that thing of like, but what about the Carl and Alex fishing channel? What about our passion that we started off with? Because the Carl and Alex fishing videos were what we originally cared about. They gave us a platform that then got us a job, and many people would just be like, well, I got a job now. I got like a secure income. Like, let's just drop everything else and focus on the job. But in time, we thought more and more about, what about us going fishing again? Like, because whilst we were cameramen, it was like we didn't get to fish so much ourselves, and our channel was like going like this, down, not doing so well. Nash's channel was going like this, doing loads better, and it was great because it was like we're part of a team, and Nash's online presence was growing. But we got to the point where we were like, where do we want to be in 10 years? And also, it's just so much stress because we're trying to hit deadlines for them, trying to make all their videos, but also thinking, well, we've got to make something for us. Like, we haven't been fishing and made a Carl and Alex video in ages.
I think the moment when we decided like we have to choose one or the other was when like we'd edit all week, making Nash videos, and then at the weekend we'd do our videos, and then there would be no time for any downtime whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah, we worked two jobs for like 5 years, and that.
My mindset was like, I've got to give up one of them. And if it wasn't for Carl saying like, let's do this, I would have dropped our own videos.
The truth is, we were getting to that point where we were like, let's just stop doing the Carl and Alex fishing channel. Like, we've both got full-time jobs, we've both got bosses to keep happy, we've both got work to do, a mortgage now to pay, and we were like, the Carl and Alex channel still doesn't earn us anything. We can't keep going. And then I got really ill because it was just full on stress, and you could call it like a bit of a breakdown.
Right.
Because I just couldn't think straight for a long time, and it got really dark. It got really horrible. And I was not in a good place.
Did they know what your intentions probably were for the future?
I remember at a Christmas party once, Alan, our boss, had a few drinks, and he was going, Carl, you'll do great things one day, mate. He goes, I love you, Carl. You're just gonna leave us, and you're gonna travel the world, and you're gonna do your own thing, and there's nothing we can do to stop you. And then the next day, he was like, "Did I talk about that? Oh no, I shouldn't have spoken about that." So I think
he was quite a good prophet as well.
Yeah. He saw that we had big dreams and that we wanted to do our own thing. It wasn't just like a job with them would be enough. We wanted to grow the car thing. But when it got to the point where I'd made myself really ill, I could see Alex was under the strain of working 5 days a week for Nash and then 2 days a week for Carl and Alex Fishing, trying to make content all the time. I was like, Alex is burning out. I can see it happening. I'm feeling broken by trying to do too much for too long. And that's when it was when you were in America.
I was on the banks of a lake in America and Cole texted me like, "We're doing it."
I was like, we're going to go full time on Carl and Alex Fishing. And obviously Alex hears that and goes, "That means we're quitting our jobs. That means we're quitting our jobs. What are we going to do? How are we going to make money? Oh my God." But we just put our foot down and went, "No, that's it." And we spoke to Nash and we said, "This is our decision. Thank you for the time we've worked together. Good luck finding some more videographers," which I believe they have, and they're doing well. We are now going to work on Carl and Alex Fishing. We're going to make our own videos, and that's our decision. And we handed in a notice and went for it.
Were they surprised at that?
Not really. I don't think they were surprised. I think Alan just saw it coming. Kevin was slightly more like frustrated. He probably thought, what are we going to do now? Like, these guys have been part of our media team for years, and without them, we've got to find new people to make the videos and to help with the social media and stuff. But yeah, we weren't going to be tempted to continue. It was like, no, we've made our decision now. And our dad was like, "You can do it, boys. You can do it. You can follow your dream. You can make fishing videos of each other, traveling the world and fishing and enjoying it, and you can make a living from it." And I was like, "I'm not sure, Dad. I'm not sure." Like, we were kind of scared, but
was that the response from most people outside of the company that, go for it, you can do this on your own now, guys?
I think so. Yeah, there was a lot of support. We posted a video on our channel saying we've quit our jobs. Now we're just going to make fishing videos.
So did you have anything actually proper? Did you have a business plan drawn up at that point?
We had like what we wanted to do, didn't we? We were like, we'll work to find a sponsor. We will have like the ads.
But you didn't have a sponsor at that point.
No.
So you were putting the word out there, really.
Yeah, we decided that we'd put the ads on the videos to get a little bit of revenue, and we decided we'd consider a company sponsoring us and supporting what we do, providing it wasn't going to be at the detriment to our content. Right. And this is where like Korda and Guru had a really good fit for us. Nash was just carp gear. They are a carp fishing company. We do a lot more than just carp. And when we spoke with Korda, spoke with Danny, spoke with Ali, Damien, they expressed that they didn't want to change what we do. They wanted to see us continue our growth and continue with our videos, and they wanted to support that. They wanted to be part of that progression.
Where were you with all this, Alex, at the time?
I have got zero business mind whatsoever. So
he's just chilled out, isn't he? He just goes with the flow.
I was just trusting that my big brother had it,
I remember seeing you two, because I think you said to Carl last week that you thought that I asked you onto the podcast because absolutely not true. I'd watched that video, and this is the same time we were putting the podcast together, and I thought, actually, that Carl and Alex would be pretty good on the podcast.
Yeah, I got your email soon after I got the message from Damien saying, like, yeah, come in for a meeting. I think we could work together. We could help support your channel. And I thought, they've asked us on the podcast for that. But it's just a complete coincidence.
And I saw you two, and I thought, what's going on here? But fair play kudos to you two, because you had to go into that office and negotiate with a couple of quite strong characters there.
Yeah. They're all cool guys though. Like, my first meeting with the Korda guys, I was terrified, like literally terrified. I was like, I've never been here. I don't know these people, and all the faces. I'm like, I've seen you in the DVDs. I've seen you on YouTube. Oh my God, I've seen your television show. It was a bit scary. But I also knew from the emails and from the discussion that I'd had with the Korda guys, that they were a good fit for us in a sense that they weren't going to be controlling. They weren't going to say, well, now you've got to use these products and you've got to fish for these fish, blah, blah, blah. They were very encouraging, and they said, you and Alex have got a cool thing going and we want to support it. And that was the end of that. I was just like, game. Right.
We always set on your terms as well that you wouldn't take second best. It needed to be what you two wanted.
We didn't want to. YouTubers will often put up things for sale in their videos, like download this and buy this and whatever, and it's just to or they promote an app or something because they're getting paid for it. And we've never been game for that. We get emails every single day from companies, Chinese companies, American companies, going, use our product and sell it to your audience, and we're always just like, no, I don't really support that. I don't really think.
So the potential is there then.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can do that.
It's all the time. Every single day there's some random little bait company or a fishing reel manufacturer or a tackle company. Every tackle company, I think every major tackle company in Europe contacted us during that, after we quit the job video, and said, we'll give you stuff and we'll pay you to fish and make your videos. But it was all quite controlling. It was all quite, but you will have to talk about this product in this video, and you'll have to say this.
Right.
And I was just like, well, that kind of cripples us then, because we're not who we are anymore. And that's why, particularly the discussions with Damien, were really, they really hit home, because I was like, he actually wants the best for us, and Korda and Guru especially, because they are branching out and they're doing other species products and stuff like that, which we can use and get behind and be part of the development as well. In some cases, we've discussed helping out a little bit with some new gear, which is exciting, because that's cool. It feels like more of a community. We're actually part of that development. We can back it. We can believe in it. Yeah, no, and
it's an unusual position to be. I don't think I've heard of anybody else that's this is setting new ground, isn't it?
It's a strange setup, and we're still waiting for our Korda contract to come through after 9 months or something, because it is something that hasn't been done before. Therefore, there isn't a contract that is pre-written. It's a bit of a new weird Korda and Guru supporting a YouTube channel. What's that? That's not really a normal thing, but it's cool, and it means that we can keep making videos and focus our efforts on our instructional stuff. Making tutorial videos to help beginner anglers, and also making our main channel videos, like all of our adventures and stuff.
So everybody else that sort of gained interest in doing something with you, that was all based on your previous videos and you guys putting the word out that we're here, we want some kind of help here.
Not really, to be honest. Our we quit our jobs video was just, we've retired from our jobs and now we're going to make.
That was clever though.
Now
mate,
we're going to make
it?
fishing videos.
Still quite a clever move, wasn't it?
Well, it worked out well, and we ended up in contact with all the right people, and things have come good, and I am glad to have the support of a very well respected, secure tackle company that can support us going forward, and make our dream of fishing and filming and helping new anglers get into the sport. They can make that possible.
Right. This whole YouTube phenomenon. I mean, I've watched. I said to you last week about Jimmy Broadbent, the EEA sports guy that does all the simulator stuff. I watch him, and Tobe, apparently I said he's got 1 million subscribers, but you don't seem to think that's.
I don't know if he's got that many. Actually, I could be wrong.
I thought it was nearer 1 million. Maybe.
There's people on YouTube with seriously huge audiences, because they really connect to a lot of people.
Right. It might have been 250,000 actually.
Yeah, I think it was closer to the 300,000 mark.
So who are you talking about, Tobe?
Well, I said it's got to be KSI and Logan Paul at the moment, isn't it? Really? I mean, what's your guys' view on those two?
Are you following this?
I do get sucked into it every now and then.
Right.
We watch a little bit of YouTube. Most of it's just sensationalist nonsense, to be honest.
Those guys done pretty well the other week out of it, didn't they?
They're making funny videos, or they're making prank videos, or they're having boxing matches against each other.
Maybe Korda and Alex should have a boxing match.
No. Oh no!
We're higher at the O2.
The thing is, as you laugh, but we've already done enough fighting.
We don't need to film
You
it.
didn't get paid for that though, did you?
No, we didn't. No, it wasn't pay-per-view.
So how are those guys doing so well? Actually, a guy that we fish with, his son, I think, had some sort of promotional stuff with that fight the other week, actually. And I know
Really?
that he's doing... can't remember what his name is, but doing very, very well. How are these people, though, making good money out of YouTube channels?
Sponsors and promoting things, basically. That's how it normally works. Like YouTubers and online influencers will promote a product and take a cut. Like,
I always thought it was just kind of advertising more, but you need a lot of viewers
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
make money through.
yeah, it's like our ad money pays for our fishing tickets,
Right.
and a bit of like
Food.
bit of kit and a bit of food. Like it's not for us because our audience isn't huge.
Mm. But you mentioned anglers in the States are doing a
Yeah.
lot better out of this.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's some bass fishing YouTubers which they have lots of followers who are, well, it seems like earning a lot.
What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Like millions.
They're getting millions of viewers.
Millions subscribers. a few of them.
We're not on that level, but in Europe we're doing all right, and we're enjoying. The thing is, it's so easy to get sucked into the stats, particularly when it becomes like your living, because you're like, if we get more views, then that means we can afford.
Well, there's always going to be that conflict of interest. There.
But when I think about numbers, and it kind of gets to the point where like, well, if you judge your success purely by numbers are endless, and it just becomes like a constant. Do you know what I mean? Like people who I'll be happy once I'm earning 10 grand. I'll be happy once I'm earning 20, 30, 40. No, I'll only be happy when I'm getting 100. You know, it gets to the point where it just becomes a bit silly, and we have to sometimes look at our channel and go, yeah, that video didn't do so good, but still thousands of real human beings watch that and may have got inspired to go fishing, and that's enough, you know. Currently I'm writing a fishing guidebook, like a really simple guide to fishing, and when that goes out for sale, I don't know how many copies I'll print, but probably 1,000 or something for the first run. But if I sell 100 of them and 100 people have got that fishing guidebook in their pocket, that's 100 people who have actually been influenced. They've learnt something. They're real people. It's so easy to just look at the numbers and be like, they're just zeros and ones and nines and eights. But actually they're not. They're actually they are real human beings. And that's why we've always sort of determined our success or not on a video, not by like the views that it gets, but by the comments. Because you read a comment and someone says something genuine and nice, that means something. You know, you could have 1 million views on a video, but one comment saying, this video really inspired me. I was having a bad day, stuck it on, and I love fishing. Brilliant. Job done.
I've had it with this, Carl. Some of the comments from people that have been sick and depressed, and they've written in and said, you know, this has really helped.
You gave them something to get them through the day.
It's phenomenal, isn't it?
That's great. That's really great.
The comments can be sometimes. Do you listen to the comments or not? I think the comments are important, and it's easy to determine when you've got a troll who's just going to write negative stuff no matter what, and people that are genuine. But the comments are definitely important, and I think it gives you a sense of direction as well, where you need to be going with stuff as well.
Yeah,
do you find that you're being influenced by what people are asking you to do?
We read them, and we respect all of the comments that come through, but sometimes we also go, actually, like, you know, we for a while we were like, just make carp videos. Stop making everything else. Just make carp videos.
Because that's what people
comment
saying
like
they want.
People would comment.
But we have to remind ourselves that we've got to do what we've got to be ourselves, not just do what people
You're not
ask
just
us.
carp anglers.
Well, this is the thing. If we just did what people asked us to, then we'd follow the path of a lot of YouTubers who just put out real sensationalist, high impact, like in your face stuff. Whereas actually we want to stay true to ourselves, and we're not the sorts to, you know, make full on clickbait videos, just for shock factor. We actually make the videos because we want to tell stories about our fishing adventures, and we try and stay true to it. You know, because on YouTube you can be sucked into it, and you can start putting like half naked girls in the thumbnails, and you can be getting millions of views. And you think we think to ourselves, well, why don't we just change the channel so it's just like strip challenges and like pranks gone sexual or something, because it happens. You go on YouTube and you watch people who their channels decline into, like you get tabloid newspapers, and do you really gain a lot from that? I don't know. Is it staying true to the individual? And with us, we get comments saying you should only do this, or you should only do that, or stop fishing for that and fish for sharks. You get loads of American people going, stop fishing for stupid little roach and perch and stuff. Why do you fish for carp there? But
you guys are looking for the long-term gain rather than
we just love fishing.
Flash in the pan.
We
right.
we want to make videos about fishing.
Yeah, the longest term, the way to keep it going the longest is to just keep, like, we've got to do what we...
Stay true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll do that. We'll continue to do that.
Yeah, well done. How tough was it when you first quit your jobs and didn't have any income for a while then? What was that like?
I think it was probably the time where I felt most like uncomfortable and maybe stressed.
It was risky.
Cole started losing lots of his hair.
Yeah, mate. I was having a shower and just I was looking at the plug hole and being like, oh, my hair's just getting washed away. Like
it's grown back.
Yeah, I know. It's coming back. But it was stressful because we're like, okay. And then we had to start borrowing money to get us out of a pickle. But we've just, I think yesterday, paid off
our debt.
Paid off the last of our debt.
Did you?
So we're back. We're even. We've just broken even yesterday. It was yesterday, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're good. And the only way is up now. But it was stressful, full on stress.
Yeah, definitely.
But sometimes you've got to make the leap. You can see somewhere that you want to get to, and if you don't take a run up and just throw yourself off the cliff, that's a bad analogy, but if you don't, go for it, you'll never find out. And we just thought, are we more scared of this risk, or are we more scared of getting to the age of 70 and being like, oh, I wish we'd gone for it and made our videos full time?
Yeah.
It was more scary to live with a regret.
Absolutely. Yeah, you live with that forever. I was talking about some of my favourite videos that I've seen. I think the one with the catching that 31-pound pike. I think that was back in your Nash days, wasn't it? Where you heard about this.
Yeah, that was a mental fish. That fish, there was a photo of it when it was like. Well, none of us in the office, this is when we worked at Nash, none of us in the office knew how big it was. A match fisherman had been reeling in a carp, and this pike had taken it, and he'd pulled it out, and he'd laid it on his keep net. We didn't know if the keep net was one of those really little ones, or if the pike was really big. And we looked at it like, oh, that's quite big. And it was in a pond just down the road from the office. And Alan used to go, see that pike, that picture on the wall? I reckon that could be a 30-pounder. And I'd go, 18 tops. 18 pounds, look at it. The keep net's that long, the pike's it's probably 8. But Alan was insistent it was massive, and he did a bit of fishing for it. He really wanted to catch it. And he kept saying to us, like, go down there, give it but don't catch the big one. Don't catch the big one. And then it was the Christmas party. Was it the Christmas party?
It was like we had like a little Christmas
social,
meet-up social at this lake.
And we all got down there. Alan was delayed. He was busy. He's always like frantically running around trying to finish things off because he overworks himself like crazy. And he calls me and goes, "You going down the lake? You got dead bait or live bait?" I've just got a few sprats. Like, not very well prepared, to be honest. And he goes, just don't catch the big one. But I promise you it's in there. And I was like, yeah, it's probably 18 pounds though, isn't it? And he's like, no, it's definitely bigger. But don't catch it. I'm going to be late. I'm going to be a couple of hours. We got to the lake and our friends were there. They were all chucking lures out, catching some little pike and stuff. And I looked at it and it's 1 acre pond full of carp. And I just thought, this is not somewhere that a giant pike lives. But let's give it a go. Rig up the trebles, put the dead bait on, set the float like 3 foot deep. There's a deep hole in the middle. It's the only bit of water where you couldn't see the bottom. There's these shoals of little match-size carp swimming around. And I'm thinking, maybe the pike's eating them. Maybe actually it could be like quite big, because if it's eating match fishermen, like, because they'd always talk about shipping back their poles, reeling the little like 2-pound carp in, and then bam, smashed up. I thought, what if that carp just what if that pike just eats carp like all day? Anyway, chuck the float out, hits the surface, and the float goes down. I'm like, I've overweighted it. I've put 28 grams on a
straight away
on a 24 gram float.
Right.
And I'm like, I just pulled the float out. Anyway, I'm like, no, actually, no, I didn't even have a weight on it. that's just gone straight under. And I stand like, Alex, set. And I set the hook, and my God, the rod bent double.
Whack it up, Toby, if you've got
And
a video.
it felt
Yeah, it would've.
huge. It felt huge. I was like, this feels massive. A little bit closer in, it started. It just came in a little bit like a log, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not so big. But it was quite special.
That was one of the.
It's on screen for you there.
Oh, that is
No.
another video
Yeah.
on our
That's
channel.
all right, we'll try again.
Oh, hang on. I've got it.
There it is. That's
There
it.
we go.
Yay. Oh, this was a mad day.
I love this. I love watching it because what you guys are talking about, you know, the genuine passion for fishing, you know, and look at this. So we're watching the what was the name of this video again? Quest for Monster Carp.
Quest for a Monster Pike.
Monster Carp. It's on the brain. God, you look different there, Carl, don't you?
Into a pike.
Yeah. First cast of a dead bait. At first it felt really big. It feels a lot smaller now, but...
We got good sound on here, Toad.
Wait until I see it.
Mental.
Oh my god. It is huge. It's huge. Yeah, it's
You can't stop saying that, can you?
It is so big.
Looks huge here.
It's your biggest ever pike ever.
The footage is so bad. It's so shaky.
No, but it's real, isn't it?
It is huge. Oh my god. That is a 20-pounder.
It's a 20-pounder.
20 pound in it. Look at the mouth on it. And trying to get the tail into the net there. That's phenomenal, isn't it?
But yeah, that's the moment where we realise.
I think anyone would love watching that.
It's
wouldn't
not
they?
a 20-pounder.
No.
That's the moment I realised like that's over 30.
Yeah.
But
What
yeah.
was it? 31 pound.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it
How
kinda-
many did you say were actually in that lake, pike wise?
The thing is, this
There's
is
loads-
the really weird
loads
thing.
of little ones.
That lake has loads of pike in. Every other pike we've ever caught has been about that big.
Yeah.
It's because that
And
thing's eating them.
Yeah,
all.
it's like a jump. It's
Yeah.
like that and then
You catch
that.
a 2-pounder and then that thing happened. But pike are a funny one because that fish was 31 pound. I went my PB and Alan turned up later and he rocks up at the lake and I'd said to all of our like our group of Nash crew like, oh yeah, when Alan gets down, just pretend we've had a few little ones. He's gonna cry and. He drives up, opens the window. I look at him, and there must have been some look in my face because
I think in all of our faces.
yeah,
we were like,
we all just were like, you caught it, haven't you? He could not believe it. And yeah, that meant that the rumor of this giant carp-eating pike was real, and it existed.
Alan went on to catch that, did he?
Alan then caught it like quite. I can't remember how many months later on. And then when he had it, I went down and did photos and everything, and come back, and me and Dan were like, we started this rumor. It's only it was 29 pounds 14 ounces, not over the magical 30 pound mark. So when we all went in the office the next day, Alan sat down all smug and that, and then everyone who came in the office walked past him and went, "Heard you had a 29.14 pike the other day," and he's like, "No, it was 30." And they all go, "Well, Carl was with you and he says it was 29.40. No, it was 30. It was 30 pound honest." Like we had a right laugh. We had loads of laughs at Nash.
That was a fish of a lifetime. Is that thing still in there, do you think?
I don't know. It got caught a few more times, but it's largely ignored because like you look at the pond and you go, "There's never a 30 pounder in there." But
there is.
there
yeah.
is.
Wow. So, Carl, I believe while filming one of your videos, you met your future girlfriend.
Yes, it was that day was 27th of February last year, and it was really snowing. Woke up in the morning and there was like 3-4 inches of snow outside. I thought if I can get out today, find somewhere that's not frozen, it would make a pretty epic photo if I could catch one. And there's a little clear canal, like shallow canal, which is spring fed. The water comes through the cliffs and bubbles up, and it bubbles up crystal clear, but it doesn't freeze over. Like it has to get really cold to freeze over. So I thought I'd go there, made the trip down there, and this full-on snowdrift. In fact, there's a bit of footage in the video that I made that day where I'm going down the hill on the way to the spot, and that's slipping around all over the place. So I arrived at the canal alive, which was the first miracle of that day. The second miracle of that day was that I caught one. Like I dropped a rig down just in the edge of this canal in clear water, chucked a little bit of bait over the top, walked back and it tore off. Third miracle of that day. There's a number of miracles that happened that day. It was very low chances of this ever occurring. So yeah, I've got fish in the net. I'm like pretty buzzing. I was thinking better get the camera set up and do self takes. And I noticed that there's this woman stood just to the side. I was like, oh, she's just looking at the snow or something. And she looked like she was looking at like my net in the water, or she was interested in me or something. But I ignored it because I don't really talk to people, don't really talk to strangers very much. Particularly before I met her, I was very much like not the sort to just say hi to a random person, and
especially a girl.
Especially a girl, like that's not me. That wasn't what that's not me at all. Like, so I had a fish in the net, and I was thinking, what should I? And randomly out of my mouth, she still just stood there, just like admiring the view. Out of my mouth comes, excuse me, can you take a photo of my fish? And I stopped and thought, I've never asked someone to like take photos of my fish. Like normally I just do a self take. And then I looked at her and was like, all crumbs, and I had all sorts of nice feelings. And that, you know, what happens when you meet somebody that you have some form of attraction or interest in? So I was just cringing. It's just dying.
Your turn's coming, Alex.
Yeah, honestly. Although most of the girls he's met, he won't remember because he was drunk at some rave. Probably.
Right? Yeah. Sounds
anyway. Yeah, I'm like, okay, and miraculously she just goes, yeah, sure, I'll take a photo of it. So she's this woman that I've never met before, and she's just taking a picture of my fish, and I'm grinning ear to ear like, this is great. But I'm also kind of thinking photos are probably going to be like crap, because I wanted good shots with the snow or with my proper camera, and I've just handed her an iPhone. What am I doing? Where have my priorities gone, man? And then she goes, let me hold it. I was just thinking, wow, this is going well. This is great. I like this person a lot. And I don't know if it happens to most people. I don't know if the process happens particularly quickly with most people when they decide they like someone or they fall in love. But for me, it was like game over. She was girl of my dreams, and I wanted to be with her. And that sounds really excessive. Like I spent like 5 minutes just chatting by the side of.
Did you get that on your videos?
Yeah, I was recording the very moment where,
how amazing is that, isn't it?
You know, and that's mad. It will be a beautiful thing that I can look back on in years to come. Like the day I met my girlfriend on in one of the videos. But yeah, I was thinking this is going well. We exchanged emails, I think it was. And I said. She showed me some pictures. She's an artist, and I was really, really into her, really excited. I'm thinking this is it. Like, oh wow, oh my god, feeling all sorts of beautiful feelings. And then I'm telling her that I'm a fisherman, and I like fishing. I like nature, and she's telling me that she loves nature and animals and stuff. And I'm like, this is great. This is gonna work.
All on autopilot, just
just
out.
like da 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 da. And I'm starting to smile because I'm like, this is going so well, and I'm literally in love. This is the first time this has ever happened to me, and I don't know. Wow.
Honestly, you think it was bang straight away?
No, yeah, I knew. Like, I just felt it was like, this is special. And I was thinking, I think she might like me too. I don't really know, but things are going well. So we've exchanged contact details, and we're chatting and we're getting along really nicely. And then I hear, and it's my other rod just down the canal, and I look at her and just give her this smile of just like, look at, best day of my life, look at this, like screaming take right there live on camera, run off, and I'm like, here we go, I've got one. And she comes running along all excited and that, and I'm just thinking, this is the best moment of my life. I've met the girl of my dreams, things are going really nicely, and I've hooked one. And then I look at my line, and it's rising, and it's rising, and it's rising, and then right in front of me, flying around, flapping around like it's dying, is this mallard that's nailed itself on my chod rig.
The magic was broken.
And yeah, the dream was just shattered in an instant. There I am, like, oh my god, now what? So I'm dragging this mallard across the surface via the line, and she's
going well.
She's going, can I help? Like, and I'm thinking, no, it's fine. Just look the other way. Like, this doesn't happen very often, I promise. Like, and I'm untangling this bird, and she
grabbed it by the neck.
I'm literally grabbing it by the neck, and untangling this poor mallard. And she helped out and she untangled a bit of the line that gone around, and I threw it, and instead of like flying off, it just all went like smack. And I thought, I've killed it. That's it. It happens once in a lifetime. I'm fishing, I'm recording a video, girl of my dreams walks in, I fall in love, and then I ruin it because I pretty much kill a mallard. Oh no. But luckily, the chat up line, will you take a photo of my fish, worked. And
Great
she's
chat
still,
up line,
she's
isn't it?
still with me now.
She's still with you.
Yeah.
Well done.
So I wouldn't advise you try it though in a club or in
Alex, have you heard this story very often?
I'm not sure.
I remember the day when Cole came back from his fishing session.
Oh God, what did I say? Oh, this is where it all gets.
I was sat at my
This
desk
is where it all
editing.
gets so soppy.
I was at my desk editing, and Cole walks in and he's like, I met someone who wanted to, because she held up the fish, didn't she? It's like,
Yeah, she held
yeah,
it.
I met someone who wanted,
wanted to hold my
who wanted to
fish.
hold the fish that I caught, and then he showed me a photo, and I don't know, it just went past me like nothing
yeah.
had, like, it was just a random person who wanted, I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, I remember that day.
Things came good in the end.
So was she in love with you straight away?
No,
Right.
we were. There's certain things in life that don't always go perfectly, and the story is a long, winding one that
We've
has
got all the time. It's a long podcast.
that has
this
no. What I'm saying is now's not the time.
Oh, right. Okay.
But no, it was a very exciting summer for me, being in love for the first time. But it was also very painful because I thought I couldn't be with her,
Ah.
and it was yeah.
you
But
got-
things came good,
you
and
ca-
we
they
spent
came good.
we spent some really special time, and it's funny because typical Carl, like I'm the most obsessed fisherman in the world, and somehow the first like 3 or 4 times I drove down to see her and hang out somehow always ended up with us catching fish. Like one time we found a pond next to a main road that we just pulled over at and was just catching fish. Another time we were on like the River Itchen fishing, catching like trout and stuff.
See, I thought you were going to say there. I wanted to give up fishing after that for a while.
No,
not pay
no.
too much attention to that.
Weirdly, at that time when I met her, my fishing enthusiasm was at quite a lull. It was kind of just, that's just what I do. Like, but no, after that, like we had loads of really big trips around the States, and we had loads of exciting projects and lots of fishing to do. And she encourages it. Like I'm still a little bit taken aback that she's so willing to just say, yeah, go on, Cole, like enjoy your fishing.
Right.
I
she's
thought-
on. I've seen her on some of the films.
Yeah,
Since.
she comes out sometimes. Naomi's her name, and she comes out and she'll do a spot of fishing with us every now and then. Like, I wouldn't say she's like proper mad for it, but she enjoys it. Like, it's just surprising. You know, you don't get a lot of women who enjoy fishing or are willing to like go out and catch fish. And
And she's encouraged
A
you to
lot-
catch fish from.
a lot.
Yeah. No, we won't talk about that. Actually, carry on.
Yeah, people make mistakes. They fish places that they shouldn't, and that is in the past.
And it's wrong.
And it is wrong.
Yes.
But a certain bad influence that she was at that time. Carl, look, there's a fish there. You can catch it for me. No, I'm not sure I can. No, catch the fish for me, Carl. All right, why not? But yeah, no, time ago, and we make sure we abide by rules.
Absolutely, of course we do. Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it? How a good woman or someone like that can just inspire you to sort of maybe go even further than you were before.
Well, it helped in the spring because this spring was like literally toughest time of my life because of getting ill, because of all the stresses of work, because of not knowing what we were going to do, whether we were going to pursue the Carl and Alex channel, whether we were going to just keep doing our jobs. And having her support and my family's support, and of course this beautiful human next to me during that time pulled me through, and like I saw my priorities, I saw the future that I wanted to live, and it really
You know what I felt
go on
when you got a girlfriend?
oh here we go.
You know in Gavin and Stacey, where Gavin meets Stacey, I felt like Smithy. I'm joking.
I left you.
I'm joking.
No,
No,
Alex.
I was really happy for you.
Bros before hoes.
Yeah.
Can I say that on a podcast? Yeah.
You can say anything on this podcast.
Literally,
Should we get onto the Park
bros.
Lake?
Yeah.
I watched some of those videos. They're really good, mate. And you turned up guys on that lake, not necessarily aware of what was in there at the start.
Yeah. When we first decided to fish there, we heard a rumor. So we didn't even know if it was true, but we heard that there was a £30 common in there. And we had heard it from quite a lot of people. So we kind of
They all said, "Oh, there's a 30."
We kind of thought, there's something big in there, because every time I used to walk around it, there used to be a number of people trying. So that made us think there's got to be something big, and it was really close to our home, so we decided to give it a shot. But it wasn't until we actually started fishing there when we heard rumours of a fish which was like £10 bigger than that, a 40-pounder.
And in quite a relatively small pressured little part lake. It was exciting. But we fished that place in 2014, and we made our Pot Lake campaign video, which I spoke about earlier, that like got our channel going. It got an audience because we told a story that captivated enough people who related on finding somewhere that enthuses them and following like a little campaign rather than just like a session video. It was a campaign video that followed the whole journey. And we both during that campaign ended up catching the big one, like the known big common. I think when you had it was like,
didn't you lose it the first time?
So we both lost. I lost one of the big commons in there.
Yeah,
Carl
I
lost another one of the big commons, and then later that's spring, early summer, we both somehow managed to catch the biggest fish in there, which was like £42.
So you had a £40 common in there, and the other one was called the Pristine.
The Pristine, which was like low 30s, but absolutely immaculate, and that was the one that barely ever got caught. Like it was really really rare visitor to the bank. But yeah, we both lost those fish, and then later on in the season had bigger.
That was gutting seeing that on the film when you lost it, because you hooked it in the margins, didn't you?
And but like we were undergunned and not ready for hooking fish at that. Like we that year we'd stopped fishing like little day ticket ponds and went, we're going to try and catch a big one. So we were hooking like 10-pounders before, and then we were hooking a mid 30 and a 40, like, and just being like, oh my god, now what? And unluckily we just hook pulled on one of them, and the other one cut me off on the island.
Two biggest fish in the lake.
Yeah, like in a day, and we're just thinking like, oh, that's it, like game over. That's our chance.
This lake, is it a club lake?
It was like a council lake.
Like you just get the ticket from the local council.
So loads of people fishing there.
20 quid for a year.
Right. So a busy lake, and the common getting caught very often.
That spring it didn't get caught a lot. When Alex had it, like people knew about it and it's come out, and then I had it like a week later. I stalked it on Sweetcorn, but the video went out and everything of us catching these fish, and some of the local anglers were not very happy. That does happen. Like if you put yourself out there in the world, if you publicise your fishing, you will receive backlash on a certain level. We'd not named the venue, we'd not shown any shots that showed the whole area. But at the time, it was also, there was some publicity in some magazines and newspapers about fish from that lake, and other people had named it. So it got a little bit busier, and some local anglers got really, really upset with us. That summer, there was some rumours started going around. One of those rumours that had somehow like circulated the local fishing world and come back to us is that the big common had died. And then that rumour developed into people telling us that, the big one died because Carl and Alex killed it. And we'd read it online, or we went to get a ticket from a local syndicate. We're like, can we have a ticket for your syndicate, please? And the guy goes, no, because you killed the big common from the Park Lake. We can't give you a ticket. So, we killed it. What are you talking about, man? Where did that come from? He goes, well, I've heard it from a responsible source. You've killed the big common. And this kept going around.
Sorry, just to hasten as well, that the fish had actually been caught after you guys had already caught it anyway. So you weren't the last ones to catch it.
No. Another guy had caught it soon after, and and it was still alive. Like, I was like, this can't be. Like, what are people spreading these rumours for? But it kept going around, and then there was the whole, like, Carl and Alex had it out the water for too long. This is one of the things that we were told by anglers. Like, they had it out the water for too long. They're fame hungry, and they just wanted to take loads of photos of it. And because they kept it out the water for too long, the fish died. And I was thinking, we can't die 'cause someone else caught it. And that was a weird time. Anyway, those rumours continued for like most of the summer, autumn, into the winter. And it got to the point where I was just sick of it. I was like sick of hearing people online go, they ruined the lake, the big one's dead, Carl and Alex killed the fish. And I was just like, this is mad. But I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll go down there. And people say, don't go back to places that you have good memories of because it won't be the same or whatever. But I went back. I was like, it was, what was it first? December or something?
It was December, yeah.
Really cold, horrible rainy night. And I barrowed down the track in the dark and weighed out my rods to the spot by the island, dropped the rig. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, if the big one is dead, because so many people had told me, I was starting to think, well, it must be true. If the big one is dead, then I'm more likely to catch the other big one, the pristine, which I really wanted. And that was like the last fish in the lake that I needed to catch. Caught all of them apart from that one. I thought, I put the rods in, and it's midnight now, and I'm setting my bobbins. I go to sleep, and I'm laying there on my bed chair like, oh, what has life come to? All these people saying that the big one's dead. Maybe I did have it out of the water for too long, but I didn't. I was out of the water for a minute. Like, anyway, I get a take early in the morning. It's just getting like little twitchy bite. Pick it up, reeling it in, playing it like you do. And then I look at it in the water and go, bloody hell, that's a really big comment. And I'm thinking in my mind, it must be the pristine, the second biggest fish in the lake, the one that I've really wanted. And I get it in the net and I'm like, I came back, got the one I wanted, job done, completed it, mate. Go to lift the net out of the water to put it on my mat, and I'm like, that is not 30 pounds by any stretch of the imagination. That's a low 40, mid 40, like Jesus. And I put it on the mat and go, it's the big common. So I take a photo of it and I send it to all these people online who were saying, Carl Knight's killed a big common.
Yeah.
I went, Carl Knight didn't kill the big common. If they did, they've just brought it back to life.
You might have done.
And there it was. So I'd caught the big fish, but still left us thinking again. And it's not cool having loads of repeat catches. And that capture was the second time I'd caught it. Between the two of us, it meant between us we'd had it 3 times. I was like, game over. I'm not bottom bait fishing this lake anymore. I'm not casting blind into this lake anymore because I don't know what will take it. And there's only one fish left that we hadn't ticked off the list, and that was the pristine. Later on that next spring, went up to see my mate, dropped him off with some, I think I brought him some food and water. And as I'm walking back to my van, looking at the margins of it's like the deep part of the lake and a really shallow part, and the really shallow part's like 2 foot tops, little snaking like channel, like a back channel. I look in the water and go, oh my God, that's it. That's the pristine, that's the 35 pounder, like that's the one that I want. Sprint as fast as I can to my rod, to my van, get a rod. There's nothing in there but a rod. And it's got a hook on, like just free lining, but there's no bait, no net, no mat, nothing. I can't do it. I'll go back and see my mate. So I sprint all the way back to see my mate. Have you got any bait? There's a bit of bread from his sandwich. And I mean like a squishy, horrible, soft bit of bread. But I'm like, I've got to try. Then run all the way back. Bear in mind, I've just done like a long sprint back to the car, long sprint back to the other end of the lake, and then back up again. I'm absolutely knackered. I'm stood there panting with this rod, hook, and a slimy bit of bread. And the fish is gone. What am I doing? Like, just get a grip, Carl. Like, just go home. Just go home. Oh no, what's that? Little plume of silk comes up off the bottom. Now see the tail. The tail's over there. The plume of the silk is over there. That fish is massive. It's still there. I lower the bread down, and the line twitches 1 inch, like 1 inch little twitch, and then just stops. I'm like, has it got it in its mouth? Do I wait for it to pull away? Do I just hope that it's got it?
Didn't move.
No, it just sucked.
Yeah.
And stopped. Just struck, and I hooked it. So, bear in mind,
Wow.
I've gone down to see my friend, and now I'm hooked into the last fish in the lake that I want to catch. I don't have a net. I don't have a mat. My mate's within shouting distance. I've checked that he's got a net, so I'm shouting to him, "Bring the net up! Bring the net up!" Then the fish starts, because it comes up and just lays there, like because it didn't expect to get hooked from that place. It didn't expect to be on the end of the line. It's just laying on the surface, and I'm shouting my head off, Tom, get the net, get the net, get the net, over and over and over. And oh, he's coming. I can see him running along the bank with the net. Then it starts turning and starts powering off towards the snags. And it's shallow. The snags are thick. I'm like, if it gets in there, it's game over. I'm never going to land it. So I think I've got to jump in. My idea is if I jump in and I'm on the other side of it, it can't get into the snags because I'll be pulling it away. So I go to pull my trousers down and take my shoes off, whip them down. Fish is charging towards the snags. I'm trying to get my phone out my pocket, trying to untangle my Then I look and go, oh Lord, I haven't just pulled my trousers down. I've pulled my pants down as well. Bloody good job no one was looking, eh? Oh no. I look behind me and there's this old woman walking her dog. And to the left of her is an angler and his partner. And I'm stood there, pants around my ankles. Oh my God, this is the most embarrassing moment of my life. Pull my pants back up, whip my trousers off and just bomb drop into the lake. And they're just stood there just speechless. Like, what is this human being doing? This guy's got a problem. Like, so I'm just running around in the water and eventually my mate brings me the net and I get it and it's the pristine. It's the last fish that I wanted to catch from there, like mid-30, and really, really, really the most ridiculous catch of my life. Like, it was so surreal.
For someone so introverted as well, Carl.
I know, you wouldn't look at me and think
No.
he's pulled his pants down in front of an old woman. Like, you wouldn't assume it. Alex, on the other hand, no,
He's just looking at it. What do you think of this, Tobe? With does this surprise you? What goes on the fishing banks, or is this all
Well,
looking apart?
so I'm still. Well, no, not when I'm fishing. If I go fishing with my dad and he does that, I'd be a bit alarmed. To be honest.
I'd be very surprised.
It was an accident. I will have you know, I meant to pull my trousers, not my pants, and my trousers. Total accident. And I thought no one
You
would.
might have made her day there, Carl.
Oh, you never know. Actually, if you every cloud on that.
She probably still tells that story as well.
I bet she does. Yeah.
She's
she
on
does.
a podcast for.
She's on
No.
a knitting
Yeah.
podcast.
I saw this lad
Once
once.
upon a time, a fisherman pulled his pants down. Oh God. Oh dear.
We're talking about the pair of you. You were saying, Carl, that Alex is a little bit more competitive than you. I mean, would you agree with that in terms of fishing?
He's always wanted to be the. He's
better
always wanted. He's had that drive.
But
in
Alex
his
has always
angling.
aspired to be you.
Well,
but he's the more determined one out of the two of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you.
Who's the best angler?
Alex always catches the best fish.
But
It's
that's
a
just
fact.
that's because I put in more effort than you.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do. I think
But
that.
I try.
Yeah, but you just get. I've watched you fish. It's not a pretty sight.
You haven't seen me fish.
I've seen you cast in.
See, all
so
the
many
best
trees.
anglers look terrible, don't they? It's what goes on behind the scenes, isn't it?
It's what's going on in there.
Yeah.
And clearly up here is just
No,
not enough.
personally, I think that I'm better. I don't know. It's so much to do with luck as well, isn't it?
Isn't there a little bit of competition between? Because you were the first one to catch the common one.
Yeah.
Alex caught the big scaly that we wanted to catch from the reservoir when we fished
that
there.
though, I think that is just luck because when we were fishing this reservoir,
That's a good point actually.
we were getting a number of bites each night, and we were like so tired because we've been going back there again
we were
and
taking
again.
it in turns actually. weren't
And
we?
Carl was on the rods the night before, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep. You get the rods. Carl had 5 fish that night
They're
or whatever.
all little commons.
The next night we just take it in turns. I get the rods,
Actually,
and it's
no,
the big one.
no,
Like,
I remember-
it's luck.
That's on film, isn't it?
Yeah, Reservoir
Yeah.
Diaries was Alex and I's like campaign 2 seasons on a 280 acre.
Do
like,
you know
big,
what I
deep
watched
reservoir.
that? These two are proper credible anglers. This is pioneering fishing.
It was exciting at that time. Like, we didn't truly know the extent of the fish in there. There was a lot of carp in there, but there was not very many big ones. It was like wading through tens.
And the big ones you wouldn't exactly call monsters, like they were.
Oh, yeah,
like
they're like
30
Did you
30
say that was
times
one of the biggest expanses of water in the UK?
in the south.
In the southeast,
southeast,
yeah. In
yeah.
the southeast, it's a really big reservoir. And I think anyone who's ever fished somewhere over 100 acres stands there and goes, "Where the hell do I start?"
Right.
And we certainly felt like that when we started on 280 acres because there was another bit that was a nature reserve and you couldn't fish in that bit, and we just were like, "Whoa!"
So the fish moved between the two.
Yeah. So and it was hard at first because we didn't know where to go, and then it became easy but easy to catch loads of little ones. And that reservoir, I don't know what our total numbers were, like 70 or something fish in a season. But the vast majority were between like 4 pounds and 12 pounds. And that starts to really do your head in. When you're waking up 6 times a night, or 12 times a night, 6 bream and 6 low double carp, it's like, what am I doing? You just start to be like, how do I get... And we were fishing massive baits in the end, trying to get through to the big fish. We just played the numbers game, and eventually we had all of the known, like the bigger ones. Like
Did you have to work out what the stock was for yourself in there? You had that information before?
There were some photos that we started to see once, like more and more people were fishing it. Like the first season...
Were there many people fishing there?
When the first season we did...
There was probably like 5 other or 6 other people who were going there regularly.
Yeah, and then like we started to see photos that they had caught, and then we got a better idea of the stock. But Reservoir Dogs was a great time, because it was Alex and I going, all right, we've caught big enough carp from smaller day ticket or like village pond style, like little places. Now let's go big, go hard or go home. Like let's fish somewhere massive and really challenge ourselves. And it was a really amazing, like just.
It looked like you were on Ksi at the start, with the boats and stuff.
The vibes on there were awesome. Just driving the boat out, like
that was my
20-minute boat journey to get to your spot. It was so cool.
Did you always have to do that
to get to the spot?
There was
always use boats.
But there was also
there was one like back entrance which you weren't supposed to. It was like a sailor's entrance. Only the sailing club or the canoeing club or something.
We climbed through a hole in a fence for a few months, but. The only true access point was on the boats. We had to get the boat out most times.
Which was really long, because like load the boat up with all your kit, and then it was like, now I've got to wait for ages before I can even cast my rods out.
But it was a really cool time fishing there.
It was free and
that reservoir prepared us for fishing in America, because it got us used to like long range casting. It got us used to looking at a huge body of water and going, where's the best place to start? Like thinking about water temperatures and like deeper or shallower
thermoclines
water.
and everything.
It made us start thinking bigger and challenging ourselves.
Were they being pressured into the reserve, or not enough anglers on there to make that much of a difference?
I don't think they were pressured into there.
It
was just like the shallowest water. So the shallowest water you could really fish in, like on the fishing side, was like 10, 12 foot. If you wanted to fish shallow, it was in the nature reserve.
Sorry, how shallow was that?
The nature reserve went from 10 foot
10
up
to like
to
2.
like 2 or nothing, because it was basically like one big riverbed, and it just got shallower and shallower and shallower. And all the carp, they lived pretty much in the nature reserve because it was shallow water. That's where they spawned. That's where they could get lots of food in the silt.
Yeah, it's always the way with the nature reserves, isn't it? They just look nice, so you've got better depths and more variation.
If there's a chain and it says, or a rope, and it says no fishing that side,
always going to be the best
side.
side.
That side always looks amazing.
Yeah. Did you guys? You went in with quite a lot of bait. When I was watching that, I was thinking, you just stick a lot of bait in there and sit and wait over bait. That was the tactic in the end.
We fished single hook baits for a while, just trying to find them. Once we had fish visiting the spots, we tried to stop them. Like as they moved down and through, they'd move through in a shoal of like 500 fish or something.
500.
Well, there was I can't say exactly how many, but like they were boshing, and it would just be like, it would be a joke. You look off into the distance, there'd be fish boshing in front of you, but there'd also be fish boshing 500 yards away and everywhere in between.
Wow.
But once they'd gone past and you'd had a couple of bites, they were gone. And
you'd only get a couple of bites at a time.
Yeah, they're like the shoal would pass through, and a rod would go or something. But we tried to bait heavily to stop them, like to make the shoal slow down and just start feeding there. And we were
too many fish though.
We were boiling up so much maize, so much particle. We had the Burco boiler going every day at home, like 20 kilos, dump it in, 20 kilos, dump it in.
There's so many bream as well. You can't tell how much difference it actually made.
But we did, towards the end of that campaign, when we were baiting quite heavily, we were getting quite a lot of bites. Yeah. But it was weird because we were baiting up that spot out in the stream bed heavily, and we were getting takes off of it every single night, numbers of fish. Lots of small ones. And then Alex caught the big one on the margin rod, just flicked out, and we were just all right, fine, we catch the big one just down the margin like that.
How big was that, Alex?
That was just under 30.
Yeah, well, that was the scaly one that we that was stunning. I had the big mirror that was 36 or something, and we both had a common that was 30 as well, which was really long, like so long. But we didn't even think that much about like how big they were going to be when we caught them. It was just the fact that we'd waded through 70 something like little ones, and then eventually we set our eyes on the big scaly mirror.
Even the little ones, they were so amazing to catch because they're so like
untouched.
They're all perfect, wild-looking fish.
But that's so typical of big fish as well, isn't it? To catch one out the margins.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Completely opposite area to where we were actually getting most of our bites.
We had Aaron Kopp on the podcast last time, and he was talking, a fantastic angler, and he was talking about if he could pick, depths, it would always be shallow water. If you can get him into shallow water, it makes sense, doesn't it?
It's so exciting.
If you've got fairly shallow water and you've got bait there and their feet, there's nowhere else for them to go, really.
Sometimes fish in shallow water can be a pain because of bird life, because you spook them and whatever. But if you can watch their behaviour and get up close to them, you can crack the code a lot quicker. Did you stay in the same area of the lake most of the time when you were fishing there? Once we started catching, yeah. Yeah, and we just settled on a zone that we realised the fish move through here. It's a patrol route. We'll stick to it. Like, a lot of other people flitted around the reservoir. It felt like if we were moving from one spot to another spot to another spot, we might be just moving away from the carp each time. You're going back to you're going back to A again, aren't you, all the time instead of just it's a bit of a headbanger, but it looked like serious carp fishing, that, guys, didn't it? It felt like that was the moment when I felt like, I'm a carp angler. Yeah. I'm a proper carp angler now. When the sun's rising and over the end of the reservoir, and it's over a kilometre away, like the end of the lake you're fishing is a kilometre in the distance, like, and you can see the sun rising, and you've got a retainer sling in the margins wriggling because you got one. It's like that feels special, and we Alex's biggest fish was from Lake Bled. That's relatively large body of water, but not huge. My biggest fish in the UK was quite a small lake. The part lake that we mentioned, small lake, but the reservoir was like total opposite end of the spectrum, and we're working on something even bigger in this country. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So you talked about Lake Bled then. So I mean, do you see these films going more worldwide, overseas in the future? I think it's just exciting to keep it as varied as possible, and there's so much good excuse to have a holiday. Yeah, there's so much of the world which is so nice. I think what we need to do is book up. Is there carp in Australia? There are, but they're not. I think you have to kill them. I think you have to kill them. I think they've got a serious problem with carp in Australia. Yeah, they've got too many. Scratch that. We'll just go on a nice holiday to France. I definitely like the idea of travelling, and I know. And I was talking to Nigel Botherway about Costa Rica. Oh, right. And I mean, is there carp there? You need to speak to Nigel about that, but he seemed to know a little bit about. I'm hopefully going to Costa Rica next year, but not fishing. But he was catching them on the beach, and then he was catching them saltwater and freshwater, I think. Yeah, you should speak to him. Wow. He might be able to. Well, with Korda and Guru helping support our channel, and with working on our YouTube films full time now, the options are far more open than they have been in the past. We've been chained down by our employment in the past, but now it's like make videos, fish the coolest places, and try and make the best films that we can. So the future's exciting. What are you trying to do with your films then as well? More vary it between these fishing adventures and instructional stuff? Yeah, we've got the fishing tutorials YouTube channel, which we launched recently. When did that come out? That came out, I think, 2-3 months ago. Yeah. Carl's always wanted to have some sort of instructional content that we can help people with, like when they're starting out fishing. And like a database of simple how-to videos. Because a lot of people watch our videos and they go, yeah, but how did you tie that rig? But we don't want to bore people with how to tie the rig in a video that's just about fishing and about the inspiration. So we've got the main YouTube channel, Carl Knights Fishing, which is all inspirational, telling stories, fishing cool places, and then we've got the tutorials channel, which is just going to be all of the explanations of how to replicate the angling styles. Because I think a lot of young people, they learn about fishing through the internet, and I really wanted to build up a database of helpful. Same reason I'm writing the a simple
Yeah.
fishing guidebook is because I want to be able to pass on base level simple information for people who are getting into it.
Well, you'd think there's been enough out there already, but looking on YouTube channels, anything with rig instruction and stuff is still, you look at the number of views, it's still massively in demand. People are always looking for something a little bit different
and
as well, aren't they?
There's also a lot of people who want like the real basics because it's easy as an angler.
Toby,
Yeah, I'm listening. Don't worry, writing notes.
It's
I'm going to need a copy of your book as well.
it's easy as an angler to just think, everyone knows about how you fish that. But then there's simple little things that actually, when you're getting into fishing, a valuable like little, and that's why we set up that tutorials channel, to help answer all the questions that we get through on the YouTube and like Instagram and stuff.
I guess you guys are getting asked a lot of questions, aren't you? Are they posting questions to you? Do you have a lot of time to respond to comments now?
Yeah. Well, a lot more time now to do it than we used to. Yeah, we try to reply to as many as possible, but I think when it comes to like how to do something, like we get lots of questions of how to set up this certain rig or whatever. That's another reason why we made the videos, is because then we don't need to answer them individually. We can just give it to...
There's a lot more that you can explain in a video than you can just typing it out as well. Like you can actually show people how to do something.
But yeah, we try and do lots of comment replying.
Sometimes it gets to you a little bit though, when you pour your heart out into a production and you work really hard on it and you edit and you film for months and months and you put it up and you get, that video was well shit, mate. And you're like, no. But the balance of negative to positive comments is quite good. We get a lot of very enthusiastic people who really respect what we are doing, and they leave lovely comments that helps inspire us too, because it's like, we've actually helped someone now, we've actually inspired someone. And that
Do you find it's important to personally be interactive with your
I think so.
your
I think it's
viewers?
really nice to be able to.
Yeah, it feels really good when you can
start a
talk to
chat
people,
going in the comments.
directly.
And that's for us, it's the reason why we've been so focused on YouTube, and people in the past have gone, you guys need to get a TV show, you guys need to be on television, and we've kind of been like, yeah, that would be really awesome, that would be amazing, but we love YouTube so much because it is so connected. Someone can watch a video and leave a comment and we can respond. If someone suggests a really good idea for a film, we can be like, cheers, that's great, nice one. Or if someone asks a question, bam, it's so personal. YouTube, we have so much to thank YouTube for in our lives, in our careers.
Yeah. So what's the next 12 months or so now then, guys? What's coming up? I know you just mentioned that there's this exciting new project. Anything else that the listeners, viewers can look forward to?
We want to get a little bit more personal with our videos. We've got a Q&A coming out where people are going to ask us some we've got a load of questions. We want to do some Q&As. We want to do like day in our life, like real stuff, like not just here we are going fishing, catching fish. We want to show us this is what we do when we get up in the morning. This is a real day in our lives, not just like the best bits. Try and
I love that stuff.
Try and be honest and just be like, look, this is what we get up to. A bit of that, but we've got some really exciting fishing.
We want to go
trips.
back to Lake Bled,
yeah,
because we've got some big carp to try and catch there still.
Got a score to settle,
A
because
score to settle,
I went there
wow.
for 5 days and I caught nothing, and I saw Alex
I
catch
caught
a
two.
50-pounder. So
Was that straight away as well? You caught that?
It was like so quick. We arrived, we were like, let's go for a cycle around the lake, try and find these fish, because we've got to find them, but we want to catch them.
first bay. Oh wait, what's that? Oh, they're,
50-pounder in the
Yeah.
margins.
they're,
Clussed out.
they're
That's
troughing.
handy, isn't it?
Like,
Yeah.
let's catch one. And then we
The
spent
next 5 days consisted of us twiddling our thumbs, having bike races around the lake instead of fishing.
It got to the point where like the rods were just so dead, nothing was happening. We were just like, right, I'll race you. I'll cycle round to the church and back. Whoever gets back here first wins. Like stupid stuff. But
We've got to return there because it was such a beautiful place, such an amazing atmosphere in the mountains there, and I'd love to catch some more carp from there. So that we're going to try and do that next year.
we can't be too extravagant with where we go, because we Carl fishing is now our business, and we have the budget, and we have to be a bit more careful. We don't have that like real secure like just income, and then just so we're gonna think about how we can make real cost-effective trips, but places we're gonna catch good fish, places we're gonna have good times and good memories. But yeah, next year, lots of diversity, lots of really cool places, and of course we've got to keep pumping out the instructional videos. So we really want to cover like as many different fishing topics as possible and help the young people like what we were when we were getting into fishing. We wanted that real simple basic, this is how you tie a knot, like this is how you attach a hook, this, you know, real genuine stuff that helps people who are getting into fishing. So there's that, and there's a load of exciting trips that we're going to do hopefully
Good stuff.
next year.
Guys, it's been a great podcast.
I don't know about that.
You enjoyed that one, Tobes?
No, we had good fun.
Yeah, and I love these stories. It was great. I knew you two would be great on here.
Wait until you see the comments. That's when I'll be taking back everything I said about loving YouTube. I'll be
Yeah,
like,
don't read the comments. Yeah. No, it's been great, guys. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Best of luck with everything with your channel anyway.
Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the donuts.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you.
The Thinking Tackle Podcast.